I want to welcome everyone who just joined us. This is the Zero event for the evening of October 14th, on Wednesday. This is the most recent in a series of social VR platform and multi-user platform explorations for the XR crowd, and for actually, like tonight, for those interested in the subject of using these platforms for creative or value creating purposes. So what started back in, for those who are joining us for the first time or joined us a bit later in this cycle, the Zero events dates back to March when the lockdowns happened, and everybody started to say, hey, my social life has been affected because I always go to VR conferences, and suddenly there's no VR conferences. So unlike other conferences, VR conferences have to go into VR if they can't go physical. So how are we going to do that? And that's how this whole process started, of every week since March, almost every week, going into one or more platforms and seeing what they can do. And after a few months, we started to say, well, we know what they can do. We're bored with that. Let's start to see what people are now doing with it. Because now we're a few months in, and how are people using these platforms? So tonight is an example of that. We're very, very excited. I'm very, very personally excited to welcome Joe Hunting, filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, to speak with us, because actually Joe was working with these platforms before the lockdowns, so this has just kind of been an interesting, for all of us in VR, it's an energizing phase, actually. Despite everything that's going on around us, the attention played to these mediums is far more than maybe ever before, really, in an authentic way. For those who, like Joe, were working with it before this, it was quite, I'm sure, an interesting sudden surge of attention and interest, and maybe an opportunity. And so I'm very happy to welcome Joe. Joe, would you mind kind of just introducing yourself? And then we definitely want to start off kind of hearing, how did you come to work in VR? Making films, just in a nutshell, what was that journey to the first point you did that?
Yeah. Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. It's really wonderful to be a part of the events. I'm a big fan of what the XR crowd are all about, so really, really pleased to be here. So I have a presentation that I'll go through, and in it I'll share my experience and like my journey into VR. But in a nutshell, I read this article about VRChat, and I was already interested in documentary filmmaking in real life, and that's something that I wanted to go down into. And after discovering VRChat and a place that's so rich of stories of people meeting online and forming relationships, it was all very new, and there were no films being made about it. And so I immediately kind of got my hands in and thought, this is an amazing space to explore storytelling and to explore these stories. And so I just started interviewing people and just started playing and exploring, and it was through playing and exploring that I started realizing that there was potential in my crazy, wacky idea to make films in the platform.
Yeah, awesome. So let me just recap real quick the agenda for this evening. So we're going to start with Joe here in Zoom with the presentation. We'll have some Q&A. Joe, would you prefer Q&A at the end or during it? Your choice. There's no wrong answer to that.
Yeah, I think so. I'll run through my talk, and then at the end of it, I think we could do questions there, and then kind of anyone who wants to join me in VRChat, I'm going to do a little camera demo. So maybe we could just do questions at the end, either during the demo in VRChat or also via Zoom. So yeah, after the presentation, I think would be best.
Okay, and that's great. And so, as Joe mentioned, there'll be a portion in the second half for those who want to go into VRChat to see the live demo. And I guess, Joe, probably it's easier for people to ask you questions in VRChat at that point, right? Or would you be? Yeah. Okay. So if you want to, so that's a place you'll be more interactive with Joe. But those who stay in Zoom will be seeing what his camera sees. So it's actually two different perspectives. We're recording tonight. So for those who choose one or the other, well, actually, no, if you're in VRChat, you're going to see VRChat. You're going to see something different. But if you go into VRChat, you'll still be able to see later what Joe's camera is showing the rest of us who are here in Zoom. So, all right, thank you very much, and the rest over to you, Joe.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, just as Michael was saying, if anyone doesn't have VRChat and just wants to stay in the Zoom, you'll still be able to see, and I'll explain what I'm doing with my camera, and you'll still have a good idea of how my camera system works. If you didn't want to join us, if you do, we'll take a small break and you'll have time to join. I'll make sure that happens. But first, yeah, I have a presentation that I'd like to go through. You should be able to see my first slide. Can everyone see it? Is the screen sharing working okay?
I'm seeing your character. I'm seeing your avatar sitting on a bench. Yes.
Great. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's me. That's my VR self, as you'd call it, I guess. Cool. Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Joe Hunting. I'm a freelance videographer and documentary filmmaker exploring stories inside social VR platform VRChat. And in this talk, I'll be going through my virtual production processes for shooting documentary specifically, and some of the theory behind how I approach creating. I'll also be sharing my personal journey of getting into VR filmmaking, and hopefully be doing that quick camera demo at the end if everything goes well. I've already tested it, should be fine. I really hope you find some inspiration in this talk. Live action filmmaking in social VR is accessible to everyone, and the tools are only growing. So I really hope to bring out some ideas in all of you. In the summer of 2018, I read this article about VRChat saving lives and supporting people overcoming poor mental health. And in it includes a handful of quotes and stories from VRChat users discussing their social experiences. And reading this really piqued my curiosity for how physically embodying a virtual space can affect the way we connect online, and how this could potentially be a great place for exploring filmmaking because of all the different user-generated worlds. But before I get into my VR journey, I'd actually like to rewind a bit and talk about where I was coming from as a filmmaker. Back in my teenage years, I was interested in documentary filmmaking and specifically travel photography. My early influences were an experimental art film inspired by works I'd seen at the Tate in London. I studied art and film at college, which is 2 years before university in the UK. And it was there I created a whole collection of very weird experimental documentaries I shot on my phone, as you can see in these stills here, and on my DSLR camera. Now, I'll just get this to play. There we go. Most of these films that I made at college were edited video diaries from when I went traveling, and were mostly outlets for my own personal reflections I had whilst I was on those trips. And this one you're seeing is called Around Nepal. I also created experimental films like this for trips to Norway, Canada, and Spain, and even with home video footage from old family holidays. And I found a love for crafting really immersive handmade portraits of a place through film, really just for myself to look back on and to be immersed in the memory again. Film was really my way of grounding myself in my memories. Though this wasn't enough for me, I wanted to direct films with people in and bring life and narrative to the immersive worlds I was building. So I went to study film production at university in 2017, and it was in my second year I fell into exploring stories in social VR platform VRChat, inspired by this article. There we go, sorry. I loved building immersive worlds in my films, and I was thirsty to tell stories about people. And so VRChat, a space where you can literally build your own worlds and be inside them, felt like an incredible space to explore that. I should also mention that outside of my film background, I'm a huge gamer as well. I grew up playing massively multiplayer games like Guild Wars 2, where I had a lot of online friends that I socialized with daily. So the stories I wanted to start exploring inside VRChat about people forming relationships and friendships, I felt personally attached to as well. I immediately started interviewing people about their social experiences inside VRChat, just on my desktop PC to begin with. So I didn't have a headset at this point, because in VRChat, you don't need a headset. You can just go on your usual flat screen. And then I just recorded my flat screen via screen capturing. And if you don't know, VRChat is all user generated. So there are thousands of different worlds to explore and interact with. And additionally, all the avatars you see are all user made as well. And all my expectations about social VR being a tangible place to be immersed in with other people and it profoundly affecting the way we connect was all true, and it was all happening. My cinematic interests in documentary lit up seeing the various worlds and avatars, and it was so much fun and so freeing, and the people I met were all inspiring me, and I couldn't stop filming from this point. Through exploring and interviewing various different people for over about 2 months, I stumbled into a few stories which became my first short documentary, A Wider Screen. I created this film whilst working on another real-life documentary as part of my university film course, and all the theory and practices I was learning there, I directly applied to what I was making in VRChat. So this was my first experiment in applying real film theory I was learning at university and approaching a VRChat story with my own personal and poetic style. If you haven't seen it, A Wider Screen follows a few stories, but focuses largely on 2 Shiba dogs who fell in love with each other and were going through this very romantic period, all in VRChat, and they'd never met in real life. And one of my biggest reflections in the making of A Wider Screen was using the community-made worlds to help build character and narrative. This is the trailer, by the way, you're seeing, shows you some of the clips in action from the film. The scenes with these Shiba dogs, who are real guys, just by the way, in case you mistook them as actual Shiba dogs, they all take place in the same beach hut world, which they actually showed me. It's called Silent Beach. And it's a really big world and has all these nice spots to sit and mingle by a campfire, on beach lounges, in a beach hut, and finally on the bed. And it was kind of by accident that I realized these different spots in this world offered a really subtle narrative to their story. So we had our initial chat by the campfire, and then as the conversation progressed, we moved to the beach lounges and then into the beach hut and onto the bed. So it felt like you'd spend an evening with these characters, and it being the same world with the same lighting, colors, and textures really helped to give their story tone amongst the other scenes in the film. VRChat obviously differs a lot more in aesthetic as well compared to real life. You can visit hyper-realistic worlds or low poly worlds or psychedelic worlds. So I think it's a really powerful tool to be aware of where you're filming your cast and how their virtual avatars are interacting with that space. In A Wider Screen, I interviewed Noah Robinson, whose avatar, as you can see, is a 3D scan of his real self. And so to complement that, we filmed in a real museum, which was 3D scanned and uploaded to VRChat, which I think worked really well. I successfully crowdfunded for distribution and music rights, and the film toured around festivals worldwide, which was an incredible experience for me, and as I really wasn't sure how it was going to be received. This is me at the screening of the BFI in London as part of London Short Film Festival. And I had a few people ask me over the festivals, how did you animate that? That was a really cool animated film. And I had to explain to them, no, it's live VR. You're a bit misunderstood. Which was funny. And I realized that when you're in VR, I think you're very naturally aware that the person you're speaking to has a headset on and there's a real person behind there. But when you're seeing the avatars move in an edited flat screen film, suddenly they just become their avatars. And I think it's very easy to forget that there's real people behind them. And that was actually magic to me. I really loved the uncanniness that you get when you see someone in VR on a flat screen film. And thinking about that idea, I wanted to experiment further with shooting a dance-led documentary about VR dancers with full body tracking. And through socializing and going to various dance events, I ended up meeting this incredible group of VR fitness pole dancers. And I began filming with this community, but again, only on my desktop screen without a headset, because in reality, at this time, I was actually in New Zealand doing a semester abroad. So I was on my laptop. One of these fitness pole dancers was a guy called Arkantos, who you can see on his pole here with his full body tracking on. And he introduced me to the bustling dance worlds of VRChat, one of which was Club Zodiac, which is an organized dance club, and they throw all kinds of shows. And I ended up creating a short documentary about that community alongside the fitness pole group. I got permission from the club's founder, her name's Virgo, to interview the dancers at the club and to film the dance events. And we also set up this group interview, which you can see here, and we were discussing self-expression in VR. And this was surprisingly my most creatively challenging project. I was captivated by the talented people at the club, and I shot a huge amount of coverage. However, I couldn't grasp the narrative of the film for a long time. And I went through this creative frustration thinking, why was making a wider screen so easy? That film basically found itself, but this one I can't visualize. Even though all the people were there and they were amazing and the stories were all happening. When making a wider screen, I was shooting my experience playing and exploring the platform with not really any planning or consideration for what the cut of the film will be until I started editing. And when making Club Zodiac, I consciously tried to do the same thing, but ended up shifting the other way, trying to plan everything I was doing, forcing myself to understand what the edit will be whilst I was filming. And for me, that constant questioning of narrative and wanting very particular cuts unconsciously made me overthink too much. I realized this whilst I was editing. To find the cut of Club Zodiac, I actually ended up just throwing footage on the timeline without any consideration and just putting scenes together and seeing what worked. And that's how I found the film. Now, every time I get pent up, questioning what I'm doing, I always remind myself to lean into play and have fun. I think filming in VR, especially, you have to embrace play and fun in your creativity, because part of the VR medium is all about that. The medium literally encourages you to play and have fun. So that's something I really lean into every time I'm making films. And collaborate with your cast, and be inspired by them to inform your story. And shoot everything. Shooting in VR is pretty much free, so you can go crazy. Making Club Zodiac, more than anything, solidified the stories I was interested in telling and inspired me to go further. After returning from New Zealand, I finished Club Zodiac and immediately got my first VR headset. After creating 2 films about VR and researching its potential, stepping inside it for the first time, it all came flooding to a realization. And I just said, wow, I'm in it. Let alone the first time I high-fived someone. It was perfect timing that after I got my VR system running, Discover Film, who featured a wider screen at their London Film Festival, they contacted me with a simple web series idea filmed entirely inside VRChat. I was apprehensive at first, as I wanted to continue my personal work, but I was in my final year of film school and I needed a job, so we wrote a project together which became Virtually Speaking. If you don't know Virtually Speaking, it's an 11-episode documentary series presenting fun conversations with a diverse cast, all inside VRChat as their virtual avatars. Each episode covers a different topic like animals or romance, and the show bounces between different cast members sharing their opinions, and it's a heartfelt and comedic series. We spent about 2 months developing the concept, creating a shooting plan, writing episode discussion topics, casting, finding initial locations, and we really approached this project with the same pre-production principles for a real-life show. The most important factor for this was the casting, as we wanted a diverse group of voices who were all happy to discuss real-world topics. And I thought, to honestly get a diverse group, we should be pulling from a variety of places. So I sent out this casting call on various different VRChat Discord channels and received around 30 responses, in which I tried to interview everyone. And it was through this casting call I discovered Ollie Man and Cretesmo, who are the monster and the cactus you see in the left, and Lumi, who's on the right, and a couple others. Someone I knew personally, like Poplapo. I met her whilst making a wider screen. She ran a great VR talk show that I attended, all inside VRChat. Spork, I saw singing at a VRChat gig, and I messaged and reached out to her afterwards. And I also scouted in public worlds, because you can, in VRChat, you can go to public, friends, or private worlds. And public worlds, you don't know what you're going to find. And it was a great space to find different cast members. One of my key focuses with casting was casting friends who hung out in VR and were naturally funny to watch together. And Noah and Spencer here are the most dynamic, energetic couple of friends I've ever met. And I'm so grateful that they said yes to be in the show. I was also constantly casting during production because I wanted to give each episode a unique voice alongside the core cast. This was the first project I filmed entirely with myself in VR using the VRChat virtual camera, which you can see in these behind the scenes stills here. If you look on the right, you can see my view there with the camera and some of the monitors buttons as well. And I was going through a dorky alien phase at the time as well, making Virtually Speaking, so don't judge my alien avatar. You operate the camera with your hand controllers, which gives you total freedom to compose your shots. And I'll discuss that more in the camera demo at the end. I use OBS to capture my camera stream, and the audio is simply recorded through where you are in the space. Every interview in Virtually Speaking was filmed in a different location. And in total, I filmed in over 80 VRChat worlds. The show really depended on its locations to add mood to each episode. So each location suits the episode topic. Like for the Power and Fame episode, which you can actually see in the middle left, far left. In the Power and Fame episode, I framed Noah and Spencer in the White House, for example. I spent up to 2 hours most days whilst in production, world hopping across the thousands of different user-created worlds, conducting test shoots ahead of every interview. Comparatively speaking to real life or even typical virtual production workflows where you have to build something from scratch, the ability to jump from 5 different locations in minutes was hugely freeing and fun. It was rare that there wasn't a VRChat world for the composition I had in my head. Considering how the avatars interacted with the space was also valuable, but I usually like to lean into play with that one, giving the cast freedom to find their own place in the scenes I gave them. It was actually a 50-50 split of the avatars that I dressed the cast in and the ones they personally had. It was important to me that the cast felt literally comfortable in their skins. So we took the time, a lot of time ahead of filming to find their looks for the show that suited their tone of voice and character. This was also to ensure that we could get the rights to the avatars we were using in the show. From the end of February to the beginning of June, I chatted with the cast almost every day inside VRChat about various different topics, and they were all in different time zones. So I made an Excel spreadsheet to help manage that. Obviously, during that time, lockdown happened. And very quickly, making Virtually Speaking became my only social outlet. And I'm so grateful that I was able to continue working on this project. Lockdown would have been really different without hanging out each week with these amazing cast members. Now, there we go. My university film course also slowed way down until I graduated in May. So Virtually Speaking became a full-time project because I was having so much fun with it, and I really enjoyed collaborating with Discover Film. Here's the trailer, and you can see some of the scenes I showed earlier in action. I also want to talk about the edit, but I won't spend a huge amount of time talking about all the cuts, but I do want to talk about sound design. Firstly, VRChat recordings capture the spatialized audio. So the first thing you have to do in post is convert that to mono and then to stereo. I wanted every scene to feel immersive and like the characters were naturally there. So instead of capturing the VRChat world sounds live, I recorded only the voices and then built my own atmospheres using free sound libraries. And the effect the Atmos gave to the scenes was as amazing as I expected it to be. It grounded the weird and wonderful visuals into something really tangible. I created the basic atmospheres and effects on my Premiere timeline, which you can see in this image. And then when the cut was final, I passed the audio to a professional mixer who was given to me via Discover Film. And he cleaned it up, added reverb to the cast's voices, and even added Foley, which had an amazing and awesome effect. I'm obsessed with subtlety, so this experiment of adding intricate sound to scenes filmed in VRChat was hugely inspiring to me. For the title music, I knew I wanted to collaborate with Spork of Love. She's also one of the cast members of the show. She has an incredible talent for improv and has a really warm tone that suited the show. We had a Discord call where we jammed out ideas, and Spork improvised 2 incredible songs, which ended up being the final tracks of the show. Because of the pandemic, Discover Film couldn't host their usual London Short Film Festival. So I collaborated with them and world creator Ray Skywalker to host their short film festival inside VRChat, which also was the premiere of Virtually Speaking. Making Virtually Speaking definitely pushed me out my comfort zone, as I wasn't sure what it was going to be in the early stages, and it was my first time editing something episodic and comedic. But now I'm on the other side, I realized it was exactly what I needed to push my directing and cinematography skills working inside VR physically with my cast. And now I'm always looking to continue experimenting and to push myself even further. Additionally, it confirmed to me that social VR can be a really rich place to explore documentary and even fiction storytelling, especially in times like this. And I believe it has the potential to create a new media of films and TV, all created inside social VR. We threw a virtual wrap party after filming Virtually Speaking, where all the cast members met each other. And I got really emotional realizing such a fun journey I'd had whilst chatting with all of them. So here's some pictures of me hugging all the cast. The best thing about my documentary work is the people I meet. If you love the people you're filming, you can't go wrong. That's my physical talk over. I really hope you found some inspiration in that. And now I'll jump into VRChat and we can have some questions and I can run you through the camera that I use and some of the new camera tools that have become available since making Virtually Speaking and since doing these projects. Thank you very much for listening to that.
Thank you, Joe, very much. I think from all of us.
Right.
Thank you so much.
So now what we're going to do, as Joe said, he's going to go into VRChat. Joe, did you share how they can find you, those who want to join you?
No, I'm sorry. No, I don't think I did. My VRChat name is Little Poe. I'll write that in the chat so you can see it. And if you want to copy and paste it, then you can do. Let me stop sharing my screen. Yeah, I'll write it in the chat. So what you'll have to do is log into VRChat, and then if you look in your Friends tab, you can search my name, which is Little Poe, and then add me as a friend, and I'll invite you, or you can request an invitation off me if you're looking at my profile. And once you've requested an invitation, I can then accept the invitation and then invite you in. And then we'll all be there. And then for Zoom watchers, and if you can't make it into in VRChat, I'll be streaming my VRChat camera in my VRJo account, which should pop up if you're on like the speaker view. But if not, look for VRJo. He'll be up in a moment, live from the metaverse.
And Joe, I got to ask one quick question. So was your avatar before Little Poe, was that Maz Kata?
Yes, yes,
okay.
My dorky alien phase was inspired by Maz Kanata in Star Wars. Absolutely, yeah.
I thought I recognized the glasses. Like the glasses, definitely, but it's the skin. I said, yeah, actually, I didn't. I thought at first it was Little Poe with different glasses. And then I said, no, the skin is different. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, for a while I just I only had the avatar for about 2 weeks, and I just really wanted to be an alien. That was kind of just my goal. I just was desperate to be an alien, and then that ended very quickly. It's kind of like my goth phase in VR,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize you could have. But
all right, well, everyone, yeah. So there'll be a little break while everybody kind of gets situated in their new environment. I'll be staying in Zoom to help facilitate,
yeah.
The rest of you, of course, are also welcome to stay if you prefer to.
Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to turn this camera off, and very shortly my other camera will lift up, and then you'll be able to see me in VR. So, yeah, I'll see you. Those of you joining, look forward to seeing you in VRChat, and those of you seeing in Zoom, I'll be with you in a moment.
It's funny to see 3 people with headsets on and 3 people who have pictures of themselves with headsets on. Though Rick has got a pretty special looking headset there.
Little Poe, is it P-O-E? Is it Little Poe like this, or how it's Little Poe? Oh yeah, there I.
Yeah, Little Poe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Alina. I was wondering
hi.
if you could join. Yeah. You do a lot of filming.
Good to see you. Yeah, it's an amazing meeting, and thank you so much. But I just wanted to say that I both have avatar and a headset on my head, so
Okay.
we'll be joining right now in VRChat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't join him. I don't know why.
It takes a little while. So VRChat, for those of you who, those of you who are in VRChat know, sometimes it takes a little while for VRChat to update, that you become friends or that you've sent an update or that person's in a new world. But for those of you who haven't been in VRChat, yes, that's what happens. Sometimes you become friends, but it takes 5 minutes for the platform to recognize your friends now. So that's why we plan to give about a 10-minute break between the Zoom presentation and then when Joe would start the demonstration there in VRChat.
But Michael, I'm already friend with Joe, with Little Poe.
Bragging.
Since the Venice days. So I searched for him, I found him, I see the avatar picture, but I can't click the join button.
Yeah.
Join or something.
It takes a while with VRChat. I mean, the VRChat sometimes it just,
Okay.
You have to wait for it to be ready. You can be ready, but it's not ready.
Nicely said, Michael, nicely said.
But he's going to be showing 2 cameras, so I'm quite excited. He's going to show the standard, the new camera, because VRChat has some big updates with their SDK. So he's going to show this new standard camera that VRChat offers, but he's going to reveal a special camera, I think, as well.
I heard so. He told me during the Venice Day he has some kind of an sub-installed something.
No spoilers, Martin. What kind of filmmaker are you? No spoilers.
Are you spoiling my camera? Is this what this is?
No, I don't say what.
I joined right at the right time.
I don't know. I only got it explained by you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to show that off. Okay, so if you're watching the Zoom, you can see my perspective at the moment. For people, I can see people are joining on maybe some quests as well. So we're going to a quest compatible world.
I'm in a tethered quest. So.
Oh, that's good. Great.
But I think Nick has an untethered one. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Yes, I do, because I use a Mac, so I can get.
Oh yeah.
But I'm trying to find you in the friends list, but I'm not able to find you. Let me check. Is it one word, or is it a space bar in between?
A little pause is space bar.
It's so it's got you. So you should be able to see me now, people on Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
So my name is Little Poe.
Yeah.
It's little space Poe with a P.
I'm adding you already.
Okay, yep, Nick, I've got it. I've got a lot of people now, so I'll start inviting those who've friended me, and
Anyone else?
request as well. Oh, great, Rick's here. I can see Rick. Hi, Rick.
Joe, can you invite me somehow, because I can't click to join you?
Yeah, I can. Rick, I don't know if you can hear me on Zoom as well, but I'm just getting people in and inviting those coming in.
Everybody, just be patient a little bit, because, like I said, sometimes it can take a while for a new friend to appear. But Joe's in the process of inviting those who joined.
There we go. Right, I've invited you, Nick. If that was you asking that question.
Someone else was asking the question too, but where can I see that? The invitation?
So you'll see the invitation. It will come up if you're looking at your menu.
Yeah.
It should come up at the top, a little blue symbol, and then to accept it, you open up your menu and look at the top.
So this is actually a good demonstration of just the basic VRChat social functionality as well. So
right,
a little add-on value to this event.
Yeah.
I can accept it. There we go. Nice.
And then you'll load it. Sorry, yeah, I've actually ran ahead into this lobby. There's probably a lot of people waiting. If you'll spawn into a lobby, let's see who's here. No one. Okay, no one just yet.
You're in a private world, and I'm requested an invite.
So for those that are on the PC, they can also join, right, with the PC version?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Quest PC, Quest 2, if you're lucky enough to get one of those.
Yeah, maybe you can put the link here to, I think it's just with vrchat.com, right?
Yeah. I think it's they put a tweet out recently to say it was compatible now. I see Lena as well. I'll invite you.
So
it's great to see so many people coming along. Which is,
others,
great.
Give it a try. Make an account of VRChat and make friends.
Yeah, and also you guys don't have to be in a headset as well. VRChat is compatible with PC. So for those who wanted to join but don't have a headset available or aren't interested in wearing it, you can go in and join as well from PC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick, I gotta ask, that's the original Quest? Are you not using the Quest 2 tonight?
Yeah, it's my girlfriend's.
Okay.
She bought it. She always wants to have the newest technology. So it's right here.
Hello. Oh, great. We've got my friend George as well. I think we've still got a few people to come.
That's it.
Nick got the new one. I didn't know.
Probably.
I think for now, I could maybe. Should we wait until? Let's wait for people to come in. Actually, if people are patient enough,
we're getting some,
start taking questions.
We're getting some feedback from. So if you're in Zoom and in VRChat, just be aware that you need to be cautious of your microphone and speaker settings.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Joe, are you able to get me in?
What's your name on VRChat?
It's Mark.
Oh yeah, I've seen you requesting me. Have you seen?
Yes.
But you haven't seen my acceptance. So.
No, I haven't.
I see. Okay. Let me invite you.
Same for me, please.
What's your name?
Isabel. Isa.
I saw.
Isa 79. I see.
Yes.
I'm on my way.
Thank you.
I've invited you both.
Thank you.
Cool.
Did it work, Martin?
Yes, I'm on my way. I'm loading the 158 megabyte.
Okay,
megabyte.
okay. Good.
The Pablo is just
Gigabyte.
dancing, eh? Pablo is dancing all the time.
So, I mean, as you can see, I'm already kind of starting the camera demo. I'll, for any of you who don't know how to use it, I'll explain it a bit further. For people in Zoom, whilst we wait for more people to come in, you can see that I can grab my camera and move it around and compose shots how I please. And this is just using the VRChat camera. And there are actually further tools which you can use now. So here's Pablo and Nick.
Yeah.
And I'll be showing off some of the tools you can use now for filmmaking. I think maybe we're actually all here. Is there anyone else in the Zoom who is waiting to join in?
I don't think so. I think everybody's there.
Okay, okay. Well, that's great. Now, I don't actually...
I'm planning to join. This is Alina, sorry, but I have a little bit of a struggle with my Oculus account, so I will be joining as soon as I can solve it.
Okay, okay, no problem. Well, I guess for now you can see the camera stream. So I just want to mention to the people that are here, let me set this up. Now, has anyone used the VRChat camera before? Are you all kind of very familiar, or is this very new territory for you?
It's really new for me.
Quite new for me as well.
I used it once during or twice during the Venus stuff. But
Okay, okay. Well, yeah, what I'd like to do is actually just show you how to use it so you can use it for yourselves and then start to develop your own kind of techniques with it and skills with it. So if you go into your menu, in the bottom row, you'll see camera. And then if you click on that menu, you'll have the options to, the top three are all kind of screenshots, which are from your headset, but photo camera and stream camera are spawnable cameras. Oh, great. I see Isabel walking in as well. So you can choose photo camera. I'd recommend doing that one for taking photos, of course. The stream camera is for taking video. So that's the one I use for taking video. And if you want to experiment with that further, you can press it and then open your overlay and you'll see that the stream has taken over your desktop. And then you connect your desktop stream to OBS or a screen capturing software, and that's how you record video. But for the purpose of all of you being here, I think we'll just go through the photo camera for now. So if you open it up, you'll see that you've got a monitor in front of you. And I'm actually just going to grab mine.
I didn't see that camera in my settings.
Oh, okay. Just if you open up your menu by pressing your menu button.
Yeah. I don't see the camera option. Only elements, emote, and emoji.
Oh, is that right, Rick? Only PC users have the camera.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. I had no idea about that. I'm so sorry. That is such a shame. Okay, well, yeah, oh, go on, Rick.
Perhaps it's because
I see, okay.
you can just do one stream at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know if, of course, people watching Zoom won't be able to hear my desktop audio, I don't believe. Only PC users have the camera, which you can spawn and move around and compose your own shots with. For those on Quest, unfortunately, don't have the camera, which is complete oversight from me.
No problem. We have the option to live stream everything.
Yep. It's a drawback for freedom of movement and so on. Well, for those who can use the camera, you'll have a monitor that comes up in front of you, and those on Zoom, I'm actually going to change to my perspective so you can see what I'm looking at as well. There we go. You should be able to see what I'm looking at now. And in your top left, you've got a yellow button, which looks like a globe. Or
actually,
possibly
Joe, we previously we had your first person perspective, and now we have the camera.
how to push the button?
No way.
Yeah, previously we had it the other way. So now we don't see what you see now. We see
Yeah. Joe,
I
what do you think?
I have this camera in front of me, and I can grab it with the left-hand controller, and I can move it around. But I don't know at the moment how to push the different buttons.
Yes, the buttons are the kind of challenging part. So the best way to be able to press the buttons is grab it with one hand and then hover over them with your other hand. And you should see a blue ring appear around each icon.
Yeah,
and then I'll run through.
I have
how to click them.
Select. One moment.
So I'll run through the buttons if you're the camera open. Does anyone not have the camera open and what I need reminding of how to get it open?
Oh, would you? This is Alina. Would you mind inviting me, because I see you online, but I couldn't see the button "Join you" in the private world.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see someone called Alina walking around, but I presume it's not you.
Yeah, Eliana.
It's Alina at Last Media. We're friends from Venice, I think.
I see. Did you add
me in the Venice avatar? Mode.
Yes, I am.
And actually, is Maud, are you in there successfully?
I see Maud as well, that she's online, but I couldn't, I can invite her.
What's your username, Alina?
It's Alina Last Media _ Alina _ Last Media.
Can you see
Alina,
would you mind spelling it for me? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. So it's, let me actually find my avatar. It's Alina _ Last Media, ALINA _ LESS Media.
No, hold on. I'll tell you, Joe. It's AL.
Thanks, Michael.
INA.
Thank you, Michael.
INA.
Yeah, and then is it at Alina? You said at Less Media.
Underscore.
Yep. But I remember that I was able to join people if they're friends.
Pablo, you got an Alexa.
It's less media. Joe.
In one word.
LESS.
That's a
say it again,
professional
Michael.
film camera.
Less media. LESS.
This is the real one.
Is that right?
This is the real video.
I think so. I hope so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got you, Alina.
That would be amazing.
Oh, okay, we are friends, but I can't seem to invite. Okay.
Oh, that VRChat.
You really have a.
Okay, I've sent you an invite, Alina.
Okay, I'm looking out for it.
It's weird.
Okay, hopefully that'll work.
Thank you so much.
Of course, no problem.
It seems to be that on the quest you cannot click on any items in the menu.
Okay, I'm sorry you didn't see my people on Zoom. If you didn't see my camera output this time, this is what my camera output looks like. I apologize. I was holding it before, as you could probably see from my perspective, but this is what it looks like with me holding it.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we've got one more person joining. But I can continue going through the buttons for those who want to kind of learn a bit more about the VRChat camera.
So I'm not able to push any of these. I have these 3 pins under it, and the pins I can switch with the what was it? With the trigger, with the front trigger, I can say select the different pins. And it goes left and right. I have these 3 pins under it, but I can't access somehow the left and right buttons of the camera.
I see. So you can see the pins, did you say?
Yes, they're under it. 3 pins.
Yeah, I see. Those pins, they have a purpose. Have you tried just pressing some of the other buttons? Because of the white background, it is very hard to see that it has a blue outline around it. If you just hover your hand and maybe feel a haptic appear when you hover over, say, the yellow button, press it and see if it
But
change
how I press it,
symbol.
that's the question.
Yeah.
Oh, with your triggers.
We can, yeah, my
That's not
triggers
working.
don't work. For some reason, I cannot click any menu button.
Uh-huh.
You have the same issue?
But then I don't.
I think well, for the sake of those of us on Zoom, maybe Joe, we can kind of
This is
progress. And
weird.
Martin and Nick, I think the issues you have might be something that's kind of beyond what Joe can.
I have above the camera.
Yes, yeah, I think that may be
several
the case.
little globes flying. What is?
Well, Martin, hold on a second. Let Joe kind of move a little bit forward, and then let's come back to some of that. Okay.
And how?
Well, we'll let them work it out. Alina, did you get my invitation?
No, unfortunately, I did not. And I, since then, found how to request an invitation, and I just sent you and Maud the request.
But you're not getting an acceptance back.
No, I'm not getting anything. But unfortunately, I understand this VR chat.
I think,
thing.
unfortunately, I
Okay,
think maybe
so
on
are
my
you on
control.
tethered quest?
Yeah.
Maybe a VR chat.
I'll just follow it on Zoom. No worries.
Alina.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I would have loved to have you in here.
Everybody,
Joe
hold on a
just
second. Martin,
explained that
hold on a second, Martin.
You have to. I think you have to be in the VR to see the camera.
Could you join someone else that you may be friends with, like Maud or Mark?
I also requested to join Maud. I don't know if she's here, but haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay.
Her name is Alina. Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah, I think the problem, Alina, is sometimes VRChat just doesn't accept invitations, and it's just a bug, I think, networking issue. You could try and restart your VRChat. I think would be a good place to start.
Yeah,
Is that what you said, Rick?
Would try and just follow on Zoom. So go on. Thank you.
I see. Okay, and it might be worth just checking if there's an update. Well, Rick just mentioned that's a good point.
Okay, I will take a look.
And if you've done both of those things, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to help.
No worries. Absolutely, I'm familiar with VR
I
chat.
still have
Can
this.
be quite
I still
tricky.
have now this globes above the camera disappeared, but I still have down below the 3 pins. And I'm very easy to.
Let me go through all of the options so you know exactly what each of the buttons do. So if you kind of start accidentally pressing them, at least you know how to use them and overcome them. So for people on Zoom, I'm going to change back to my perspective. There you go. And I'm going to run through each button. So as I was mentioning earlier, if you want to use the camera, the best way, in my experience, is to hold it with your right hand or your left hand, and then use your other hand to press the buttons. So the top left button is your kind of camera positioning. You can change it from just handheld, which is the first option. The second option, I believe it attaches to your body, and you don't have to hold it, and you can run around and it will stay with you, attached to where it is on your body. And then the third option is leaving it in global space. For people on Zoom, you can see this top left. I've pressed that and I'm moving around, and I can take my monitor and look at it wherever I like, but the camera stays in that place. And then the last option, which looks like a globe, it's the spherical one. If you press that button and then walk away or move your monitor, you'll see that the lens stays in the same place, and you can leave it there and walk away, walk as far away as you want, and it will stay there. And this is how I actually filmed Virtually Speaking. I would find my shot, put my cast in the situation, and then hit that global camera. So then I could detach my monitor from it and just watch the scene and direct the cast. And it was, super easy and relaxed. So I could just focus on directing. And it worked really well for the show, obviously being a very the show had still composed shots the whole way through.
So is there any limit on the amount of recording that you make?
Your limit is your disk space, in my experience, I would say.
Cameras you can
How many gigabytes you film, Joe?
Oh, sorry, what did you say, Nick?
with different angles, with different cameras in position, you can film at the same time, or you have to pause one to start the next one?
Yeah, that is one limitation, unfortunately. You cannot film with multiple cameras. You only have one lens. So you can't put a camera lens up there and have one here and record them both at the same time. But what you can do is, I'll run through this now. So if everyone has their cameras out, the pin option in the bottom left, this enables you to place multiple cameras around the scene and then switch between them. So this is really good for covering events or your live streaming. So if you, for example, go on your pin menu and select the first pin, and then go to your upper left and set your camera to global, so that globe symbol, so it's stuck in that one place. I'm going to leave that camera there on my first pin and then walk away to a different space. And maybe I could switch the camera around and put it in a selfie position. Press the top left button, and then I've got another camera angle, and then I can change the pin back and forth.
And where do you see all the streams coming? So how do you switch in between them?
I have the camera in the second orange button is a camera, and then I have under it the pin button. So now I go to a different position. My camera is over there, flying over this table there. So now I'm going to here and push
another pin.
Alina, could you ask your question again?
Yeah, sorry, Alina.
The question was that it's very interesting that you can kind of pin multiple cameras, but then where do you see all the streams coming when you're switching in between them?
Okay, I got it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Is there a way to see all of them at the same time, kind of in a menu, so you know where all the angles are and what's showing? Is that the question?
Yeah, that is the question.
I see. You can technically do that, not inside VRChat. As you can see from my perspective, I only have one monitor, and I can switch between the angles like this. I can't see all of them at the same time. So really that's no. But if you're recording video, you can go in OBS, and because that's a studio platform, you could
in OBS, you
could make like squares for different video outputs, and so you could have like 4 different ones all attached to your different pins, and you could see them all there. I've never set that up personally, but that is a way you could do it. But that would obviously hinder the recording quality if you're having to crop into each one. So really that's a no, I would say.
Thank you. And Joe, I just restarted from my Rift. So if you can check the request, maybe I can join you now, because I try to reboot everything.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. I will invite you. I see you online.
Yeah, I'm setting in a request too with a different account.
Now there's oh, I just hit my chair.
I have now set up 2 positions. That's nice. Okay.
Oh, okay, great, Martin. Yeah, how are you finding it? Did you understand the pin system and pinning different cameras?
Yeah, I think I made it somehow accidentally.
Yeah, well, I seem to be fooling. Yeah, it looks like you've got it. That's great. Okay, let's continue running through the various buttons then. I see some people on Zoom are joining on VRChat, which is great.
I'm somehow accidentally lock the camera. That's then that I can't move the camera panel any longer. But yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Let's carry on going through the camera tools then. I'm gonna bring myself round into the more open space. Okay, so you can see my perspective again here. So I want to talk about the middle button on the left, which is the orange one. This is your kind of camera movement and the stability of it and where it's looking as well. The first option, which looks like a camera, is just handheld. Nothing on it at all, just basic handheld. And it can be a little bit shaky. So I don't really ever use this unless I'm really trying to do something stylistically handheld. If you press that button, it goes into a kind of a rumble looking image, and this smooths the camera. So this acts like a steady cam, which is really great if you want to do like a smooth tracking shot. I'll actually change for people on Zoom to see it in action.
Oh yeah, I see, I see.
But I can do a really nice kind of smooth up on Rick here and then move around him. And I'm shaking a lot, but the camera is not, which is really, really nice.
Cool avatar.
Joe,
it's this orange second button on the left side who has a little shaky signs around the picture.
What did you want to say, Michael?
Sorry, I think I saw someone send an invite request.
Yeah, I did.
Orange middle second button with shaky signs around the picture. Yeah, correct?
Yes, correct. Alina, I've seen your request, but unfortunately, I think the same thing may be happening. I've been accepting it and inviting you. Has it gone through or no?
Nope, unfortunately, no.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We could actually try and jump to another instance after I've finished this off, perhaps. And then anyone who's hanging out and wants to just have a chat, then maybe it'll
Absolutely.
work, if that's okay with you. I'm sorry.
Yep. No worries.
Let me know if you've seen my request.
Oh, what's your name?
Create.
It's Yolanda.
Oh, I don't think I have you as a... Sorry, what was your name?
Yolanda.
Yolanda, yeah, okay. I'm not seeing... I haven't seen you. I'm not seeing you as a friend. Did you send me a friend request?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing you.
Not seeing the request?
No, can you send me a request? Have you been sending me requests already?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not seeing them. When you I'm a bit, maybe you didn't add the right person, or is it definitely, could you see this avatar when you saw Little Po?
It says I can unfriend you, I cannot invite you, but you're friends already.
Okay, I see. Is my profile picture my avatar that you can see on Zoom?
Yeah.
Oh man, okay. I'm really sorry. That seems to be another VRChat issue because I'm not seeing your friend at all. Oh, it just came up. Okay, it just needed some time to refresh. Sorry. Look at that.
Oh, someone is waving at me here.
There we go. Great. Okay, I've sent you an invitation if you accept that. Lena, now my things have refreshed. I'll send you an invitation as well.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, let's carry on. I'm enjoying this kind of littered camera tutorial here between technical issues and.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, great. Hopefully, yeah, we can get you guys in as well.
That's a crazy avatar with this mounted face on. That's crazy.
Okay, I'll carry on running through these options now, if you like. Have you kind of played around with any of the other options, Martin?
I found. Let me double check the pin. I know now how to use the pins. I have the selfie version, the other eyes. I have.
Oh yes, yeah, that's one I. Yeah, that's one I actually didn't mention to the Zoom audiences. So the third option in this orange menu, I'm actually going to change. I mean, you can see it here. So I've just changed it. It's the one with the eyes. This one tracks your movement and specifically your head bones or your eye bones. So if I switch to my stream camera, I can go and walk around the space. Oh, I can walk around the space freely and it will track me the whole time. So this is really great for, look at me go. Really great for if you want to have it follow you or you want to live stream and you can have it follow you the entire time, or even for tracking shots. The limit with doing like a tracking shot though, obviously you can only film yourself. You can't track other people.
Oh my God, I just found the green screen.
Yes, and then, so in the top right, you've probably already found Martin. Let me change back to my photo camera. Here in the top right, you have all these various effects. So you can put let's put that on. A lot of them are kind of gimmicks, just fun things, but then there are also very helpful things, like doing a green screen that covers the world up and shows only the avatars. The marketing photos of Virtually Speaking, I used this camera for, to get some of the cast who couldn't make it on the day of taking the group photo. I got them in the world and we took all these photos on a green screen, which was really helpful. Well, actually, we didn't actually use the green screen. There's also a transparent mode, which if you're taking a photo in VRChat, that will save it as a PNG and it will be a transparent and you can capture your avatars.
Wow, which is
really useful.
Transparent mode?
Top right.
Top right. So this glowing golf ball or what?
Yes. Yeah, it would be that. I mean, perhaps.
Alpha transparent. Yeah, it says so. Okay.
And then there's only a oh, great, Yolanda's here. Fantastic. So there's only 2 more that I haven't gone through. Oh, yep. Go on, Pablo. Yeah, I'll explain that actually. Let me just finish these last few buttons whilst we're at it. Very simple. The lock, which I know some of you have already pressed, just locks your camera in place. So now I can't actually grab it. As much as I try, you can't grab it. And this is actually a really helpful way to be able to press your buttons really easy. So if you're struggling to press your buttons and you can't access your buttons, put it in lock mode and then you'll stop grabbing it and you'll just be able to push the buttons. So that's a really great tool. Like Martin, I know you're struggling with pressing the buttons. Use that lock tool. Finally, there's a timer. Adds a 5-second timer. So if you want to take a selfie, like Pablo's doing here, then you can press the timer, set it up, and then set it going. Okay, I think before we talk about recording video, does anyone have any questions here and in the Zoom as well? I'm listening to the Zoom. So if anyone has any questions in Zoom, I think let's start in VRChat and then we'll go to Zoom. Otherwise,
so what do you normally do when recording? The players that you record are actually in a VR headset so they can move their arms better? Or is it easy to do it with a computer?
Are you asked, is that a question for other cast members in desktop or in VR?
Yeah.
I see. They're always in VR. Most of the time I try and cast people who are in full body. And that way I can get them into positions that like really sit well in the space. So in a lot of Virtually Speaking, you'll see the characters, they look like they're sitting in the space or their legs are really nicely placed and they're actually there. It's because we managed to position them with full body tracking.
Yeah, so I see you on the computer as an avatar, but I see you on the headset as a robot.
Oh, okay, I see. I'm not a Quest compatible avatar. Sorry, although I'm very optimized, I haven't actually pressed the button to make myself Quest compatible, which was a bit of an oversight.
Okay, I only see a
yeah, so that's the reason.
Your chest. On my chest.
Oh, I see. Yes, so that's a Quest limit. Quest does have some limits in VRChat. Some worlds you can't visit and some avatars you can't see. If you actually open your menu, you'll be able to see in the bottom right of people's name tags if they're Quest or PC. I'm actually going to change to here my perspective, and people on Zoom can see this too. So you can see that they're Quest or PC. So if you're going on VRChat on Quest, this will explain how you can't see some people. Does that make sense, Yolanda?
I'm trying to find that. I see details, maybe? There you go.
And a quick question that is related to the avatars. You mentioned very interestingly that you made sure that you had the rights for the avatars that you were using. How do you ensure that you have the rights? You only use those avatars that your team created?
Yeah, so for virtually speaking, I don't know if people in VRChat heard that question. It's about getting the rights to the avatars. Um, all the avatars you see, about 50% of them are made by the people as themselves. So Spork made her own cat. Popopo is a grasshopper, and she made that herself. And then some of the other avatars are made by the VRChat community. So Lumi's avatar is kind of a classic goth anime girl who you probably will see in a lot of VRChat pictures. That was made just by one of the VRChat community members, and it's public. And then I think about 6 other avatars, and this was kind of primarily where I got most of my avatars, are from a company called Polygonal Mind, and they make loads of different avatars. They made 100 avatars once, and they made it all free. And I emailed them and said, do you mind if I use your avatars in this show I'm working on, which is filmed all inside VRChat? And they said, yes, absolutely. So I made sure that most of the avatars that I was using was either made by the people themselves or from Polygonal Mind.
Awesome, thank you.
This I wanted to ask you as well, Joe, about the rights. Like you have a history of a real life filmmaker, and you have a history of film studies. How you ethically approach your cast? When you say first time hello, and you said in our Zoom talk before that you are in general you try to film everything. But when is the point that you are entering, you are not filming, and when is the point that you say, like, actually I'm a documentary filmmaker in VRChat and I would like to film and record our conversation because it is like in the real world. Here you don't see somehow when the camera is running. The OBS is somehow in a secret way of recording. If you just record your visuals instead of VRChat.
Yeah. That's a really, really good question, and also really important because when I was making a wider screen and making Club Zodiac, I was on desktop, and so people couldn't see that I was filming because I was recording my my perspective just on desktop. And I was very aware of that. For a wider screen, whenever I was interviewing people, I explained to them completely what the film was about and just explained to them, I'm working on this project. Please just, do your thing and be yourself. But are you comfortable to, be in a film? Your real name won't be used. It'll just be your VRChat identity. And most of the time, everyone was fine with that. But that was something I'm very aware of and still am aware of. For virtually speaking, we actually signed release forms for all of the cast. And I did that for Club Zodiac and a wider screen as well. Though for those films, we actually only used the avatar names, which was kind of confusing, I found, because we're in this virtual space where our real identities don't actually matter. Are people okay with, just their virtual identities being released in a show because really their real identities are not here? So, but that is, something I'm very aware of. And I think I agree. It is ethically something that I think all documentary filmmakers should be aware of, even virtually.
Yeah, it's I was thinking, I was like, wow, this is now with the camera and the camera you can see, this is something that someone could realize, here's a camera, but even it's not about that the film person has to realize that it's film. So you are introducing yourself and you tell, I am filming, how you record it. And even for your later projects, you have forms that they are signing. That's very good. It's a nice. It's a professional approach.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's professional. It's kind of the least favorite part of, but obviously a very valuable part, because I love to, like I said in my talk, I love to lean into play and just run up to people and say, hey, do you want to be in my film? Let's hang out and let's experience VR together. Oh, and also this is a release form that you have to sign. But it's super important, and for a wider screen, very much so, because the conversations were so intimate. That was really important conversation I had to have with the Shiba dog.
I watched this documentary some weeks ago, and I really highly enjoyed it, I have to say, and I was impressed what kind of privacy conversation you witnessed, and you beautiful assembled. So I told yesterday, I told you about this online workshop where I'm part of, this
Yes.
film education, and I talked to some people yesterday about you, that there's documentary filmmaker, and I have this table, and I was telling them that maybe there's a chance to get you over the week on the table, and they were like, oh yeah, that would be interesting, how a person is filming inside of VR worlds, and yeah, so it's a very interesting topic. And the documentary part of this workshop, we have 80 participants.
Yeah. We're running a little behind schedule, Martin. I don't like to.
Yeah, let's catch up about this soon. But that sounds
yeah.
fantastic, and yeah, I mean, I love talking about it. Rick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they can hear you on Zoom. So if people on Zoom, Rick is just asking me if I use invisible avatars for filming as well. Yeah, I did use invisible avatars only once in my filming, though I am doing a little bit more now. If I am going invisible, firstly, I try and make everyone aware. And if someone comes running up to me and are, confused if they see a name tag, I'm always explaining it. I used it when filming Club Zodiac. In that film, I get really up close to the dancers who were dancing on stage. And as you can imagine, if a big avatar with a giant backpack came up on the stage and started filming them, it would be very disruptive to the show and their performance. So in those circumstances, like an observational camera invisible is great. Speaking of observational, being invisible is like, the dream of observational filmmaking. So yeah, it's something I like to do, but actually try to avoid as much as I can for the comfortableness of the cast.
Joanne, is it a public feature that you can make your avatar invisible?
No, it's not. It's something that I did in Unity. So I made my own avatar, and so I have some experience with Unity, and that's just you'll always see the name tag. Yes. Now, before, I know we're running a little bit short on time, so if it's okay, I want to pause questions for a moment and actually just show off the new camera tools that you can use. Is that okay with you, Michael? Is there time for that still?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm conscious of your time and of the others. So, I mean, definitely, if there are later questions, and if Joe, you've got the energy and the time, you can, don't feel rushed on our part. But I'm conscious again of the time you're generously giving us.
Oh no, I'm absolutely fine. I'm having a good time. I really enjoyed talking about this this topic, so I'm more than happy, and want to show this off because this is the kind of next frontier of VRChat cameras. So this, you're looking through the basic VRChat camera still, and if you look at it closely, there's no depth of field in this. It's just one straight depth. There's no depth to it, and it's just one lens. You can't change the lenses on these cameras at all. But there is new cameras coming in, which I'm here, Rick, if you don't mind, I'm going to demonstrate on you. And you can see I'm holding in my hand, from your perspective, Rick, I'm holding a giant camera now. People on Zoom, you should be able to see Rick. And it's straight. I'm holding a camera in my hand, which is directly streaming to my other camera, which is then streaming to you. And in this camera, I can shift focus and really create depth in the avatars. So you can see there's a really nice depth of field on Rick now.
Oh, yeah.
And I can really take advantage of all those kind of cinematic applications that you use in real life filmmaking with cinematography and apply it to, I didn't mean to jump, in scenes in VRChat. So I can focus pull like this, and even zoom out. So I'm on like a 24 lens at the moment, 24 mil. I could zoom out.
Can you share somehow the behind the scenes situation of what you are now doing?
Yes, yeah. So this is something I made. This is a camera made by a member of the VRChat community. he is kind of specialized in making cameras. I'm going to change to my photo camera, and you should be able to see my perspective. Is that working?
Yep,
Yes.
that works. Yep.
Great. Okay, so you can see my camera here. You can see I'm on like an f2.8 aperture and 12mm lens, and then I can open up.
I like this so much. I really like this so much.
That's advanced.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna switch to my stream camera again.
Oh shit! Yeah, you really.
This is great.
There you go. And if you're interested to get involved with this kind of new technology, it's still in development, but please reach out to me and I can explain how to use it. It's not something that's built in VRChat natively. Hopefully it will in the future, but it's still very much early days in this. But I think it's an amazing example of what's to come with filmmaking, and it's so inspiring. I can also put a drone. So I'm actually, sorry, go on, Rick. Oh, it's tough on your CPU. It's tough on your CPU. I mean, I have a Ryzen 3 900X, and it, just about deals with it, but my GPU isn't that great. But if you're interested in getting involved with this camera, I think you've got to make sure you have a beefy CPU. Is that what you meant by performance? Okay, good. So I've actually set a drone up now, which people on the Zoom can see. I'm kind of flying out, but you can still hear me. And I'm actually going to I put a pivot point in the center of, oh no, you can see it. I put a pivot point where my hand is, and I can get the camera to track that pivot point, and then I can do these really oh, that's not in focus. Hold on. I can do these really nice cinematic movements around. Here you go. Yeah. Look behind me, Pablo. Hold on.
It's moved over to your left.
I've actually lost it personally.
Up there.
Yeah, okay, it's right above me now. Yeah, here it is. Okay. There you go. And I can.
Joe,
okay.
maybe you put it. Maybe Joe, you put it in front of the white wall, not above, in front of the dark background. Okay. When it's in front of the there.
There you go.
There we see it better. Now you have it.
Okay, I do think it's a little bit buggy in terms of other people seeing it. But here, let me change to my photo camera so people on Zoom can actually see my perspective. So you can see the camera there, and I can move it with my thumbstick. Coming in. So I'm moving this camera all with my thumbstick. And it's tracking this pivot point. Yeah, this isn't built in. Yeah, it's something. So I added this on my avatar and then uploaded my avatar, and it's still in development. The person who made it actually does charge, I think only £10, and is wanting to kind of develop it even further. So it's something that does cost, but I think soon this will be native to VRChat. Hopefully, I'd love it to be, and that's why I think there is so much potential in, like, metaverse media, I would call it, like filmmakers that just make films entirely inside social VR.
That's absolutely crazy. That's especially when you showed us you have the standards of the f-point, like this f-stop and lenses and even depth of field, or that you have this kind of zebra recognition for focus peaking and so on. This is crazy. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so you can upload an avatar from your own computer. If it's what kind of file do you need for that?
Hold on, I'm just gonna reset camera for Zoom. There we go. Sorry, say that again, Yolanda.
So what kind of object do you upload to have an avatar in here that you created yourself? What kind of file?
I see. It is an FBX file. So I made my avatar I modeled it in Maya, because that's what I'm familiar with. And then I added the mouth movements in Blender. And then I imported my FBX from Blender into Unity. And then from Unity, you can add a VRChat SDK. And then through that, you can upload to VRChat.
Wow.
That's a lot of stuff.
Which actually Rick knows a lot better than me. He's the person to speak to for that.
Do you also know Taffy? It's also to create your avatar.
Yeah, if you want to just make an avatar, yeah, that's a really good suggestion. Taffy is a awesome, user-friendly VRChat avatar creator. Yeah, that's a really good suggestion.
And is it also possible, for instance, to do the same thing but outside of VRChat, like in Mozilla Hub or something?
Not that I know of. I've not explored that, but I don't believe so. VRChat, in my experience, has been the only platform where you can upload your own stuff. And Neos VR. Neos VR is another social VR platform, but is much more of a game engine more than a social environment. So if you're interested in kind of, Neos is another one to check out.
I mean, I guess Hubs.
Neos is not. No, that's I think Unity, or it's its own platform. I'm not sure if you know.
I think
yeah, I believe it's Unity again.
Okay, because I have an avatar of myself in real right now. I gave a TED talk with my real self, and I really want to upload it to here.
Well, I think you can.
Yeah, that should be absolutely doable for sure.
So when you have the avatar already, so somehow you need to bring it to Blender, add this mouse movement, bring it to Unity, have the SDK, and then upload it here.
Yeah,
that's what I understand.
Yeah, and that's no, I have to do that.
There's 3 steps.
Yeah, but Rick is, as Joe said, maybe Rick is the one.
Maybe Joe, you can help me out with that.
Yeah, maybe we can do a Zero event where we focus on adding things to things like VRChat and AltSpace. You know, because it is a matter of uploading Unity. You know, builds or packages probably with their SDK built in. So that could be something we look at.
Are you in the Yolanta avatar?
Yeah, I am.
Where are you?
This is mine and this is hers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is hers. That's why I'm Yolanda's. I'm Yolanda right now.
Does anyone have any questions from the Zoom?
Well, that's so impressive. That's not a question. I'm sorry. That's a statement.
So it looks like you have a real camera.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
It's really crazy. I love this. This is really awesome.
Yeah, Joe, if you could, if you wouldn't mind sharing a link to where people could take a look at that, or you know, on the VRChat marketplace. Is it on a marketplace, or is it something you have?
It's on. I don't know the name of it, but it's on a platform very similar to Booth. Very similar to Booth, but I think it's more Japanese oriented.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll send it in the group. I'll also put the Twitter of the person who made it, and his name is Hirobiki.
Okay. Yeah, I think definitely.
So it's a person from the Sony world.
What about your film, Joe?
That's amazing.
Watch the film together?
Oh yeah, great question. That's something I should have mentioned. Yes, so Virtually Speaking, which is the series you can see on discover.film. I'll put a link in, well, I guess I could throw my headset off very quick and put a link in the Zoom. And for A Wider Screen and Club Zodiac, they're both public on YouTube now. So you can search Joe Hunting VRChat. I know I should come up. You should find me on YouTube or on Vimeo. And there you can find Club Zodiac and A Wider Screen.
And I did share your website portfolio in the Zero Event group and the Zero Event art group as well. So I think you can also find links.
Oh yeah, you can also find it through my website.
I saw some already on your website, but not everything, I guess.
Well, I think you have to make an account. Is that right? With the
functional, really fantastic.
Discover Film.
Oh, good. Yes, Virtually Speaking, and on Discover Film, you do have to make an account. It's free, and once you have the account, you can watch the whole season for free.
Right. And Joe, could I ask what are you working on next? I know you've got plans that you've alluded to. What is it? What's the project that you're next working on, or you're working on?
Yeah, I'd be happy to introduce it. So I'm working freelance actually now as a videographer and director, working with a few VRChat events projects. So I'm helping out with Raindance. They're doing some VRChat projects and a few live theater experiences. I'm doing some trailers and recording some promotional material for, as more people are making content in social VR. It's a great space to create, really cool cinematic trailers for. So I'm doing that freelance. And then whilst that I'm doing that, I'm also in production for a longer feature film documentary that I'm personally exploring, following various different VRChat communities and individuals, kind of exploring love and friendship and self-expression. And I'm taking much more influence from A Wider Screen and Club Zodiac for this project, rather than Virtually Speaking. Kind of imagine those two films mushed together and into a feature, perhaps, is what I'm developing. Kind of a time capsule of what social VR was all about before it inevitably grows into something much bigger.
How do you do
So
that?
how is it with setting lights? I have recently done, for the first time, as I have a professional DOP background, and then I switched somehow to directing, but the DP is still in my system. So I did recently my first time setting lights for a shoot in VR. So have you worked with DOPs, or that they are setting up lights, or are you tweaking the worlds, or as normally the documentary filmmaker is working with what is there and finds the right position for the cast and for yourself and for your camera. But you have to consider to work in a team, that you have light people and so on and so on.
Yeah. I'm a filmmaker, just as you say. I like to find a place and then work with what's there and film observationally and have it as realistic and authentic as possible. I have definitely considered working with DOP. And it's also an option because we're in VRChat. I could make my own world specifically for the scene that I want to create. I haven't really had the opportunity and time to really delve into that, but that is something I would like to explore. Yeah, for sure. Though I've grown to really enjoy, especially using this new camera, self-shooting and cinematography. But for more ambitious projects, I do have a few friends that are second cameras to me now, which is really exciting. Actually filming my first interview this weekend with a second camera. It's my first time using a second camera. So yeah, that is something that I think would be very useful now, and I think will grow to be more useful for bigger projects. Does that answer your question? Sorry, I just kind of
the second camera, I had the feeling when I was somehow the DOP in this other world, I was in Anyland setting the lights. I had the feeling I would not be able to do it without a person who's a highly specialist in the world. So I just came there as a normal real world person who has an idea about how to set lights and how to set the mood and so on, how to invent a space by light. And this person, this guy from Anyland, Nicolas Cage is his Anyland character name.
Nice.
And Nicolas was absolutely highly skilled to tweak the engine and the world. So he was somehow like a gaffer from the real.
Yeah,
and it was amazing. I was just there, like in a situation on the movie set, and telling them, I would like to have here a light, and I would like to have here a light, and I would like to have here a reflective surface, and blah blah blah. Yeah. And it was amazing. And this, I believe that, of course, the documentary, and I have seen like your documentary work, and I really enjoyed that. So the documentary approach is a different approach, especially when you are in
right, I'm with
you.
You
find the setting and the positioning of yourself. But as well, there are for sure worlds who are not entirely well written, or you have an idea of a very special interview, and then maybe a cinematographer who's actually working with you on lights could add something to the high knowledge you have on VRChat, but and the DOP maybe brings another input in.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely possible. Definitely. there was a project that was shown at, I don't know if anyone went to the LFF Expanded, but there's a project shown there called Antigone. And it's a feature film, and it's shot not in VRChat, not in their own social VR platform, but it's filmed entirely inside social VR with, like, I think maybe a slightly global cast. And I think in that regard, having their own social platform and doing their own virtual production inside it, having a gaffer there with complete control, would be super useful. VRChat, I think, it's tough because you're going through all these different public worlds and they all have their own lighting. So it's tricky to be able to control that. But
maybe one day someone invents a light unit. You have now a cinematic camera. Maybe it's possible to invent a light unit.
Oh, that is.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit, I think it's definitely possible to like have a torch that shows on worlds, but I think they're just very performance heavy.
Yeah. Guys, I'd like to, definitely those of you who are in VRChat are welcome to hang out as long as Joe can tolerate you. But those of us in Zoom, I think we should be probably wrapping up about now. But I want to give everyone who's in Zoom a last opportunity to ask any questions or to say anything about what Joe talked about and demonstrated tonight.
Yeah, please do. I'm all ears.
Wow.
Thank you so much, and wanted to say thank you, and also if you leave your best contact, that would be great, so we can get in touch.
Okay. This is like it's shocking.
Yeah. Okay. I certainly will.
Somehow everything's possible.
I guess I should actually hop out of VR possibly now, or I can do it on my overlay and just write some details on the chat, so it's there. Oh, thank you for all the lovely comments. I haven't read the chat at all, so this is really heartwarming now. Yes, I'm going to drop my email in the comments now. So if you want to chat more about this or collaborate on a project, please feel free to get in touch. There it is.
Yeah, and I was actually curious, Alina, having done so much filming of events in VR and other platforms like Engage, and having worked with so many different, teams of different camera person. I was really curious when Martin and Joe now were talking about having a second camera, or third. Like, imagine that with a team, and could they each be working with the drone camera, hiding behind the corner or something, or behind the counter here, the bar counter. Could you have a team running around in a space like this with these different cameras? It's just, you just wonder what's possible with more camera operators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the shoot I'm doing this weekend is a very simple. I'm shooting an interview, and I've got 4 people, and I'm shooting a wide master shot. And then I've got one person shooting close-ups. So it's very simple, but when you see that, I think on a flat screen, you see people in VR, and then you see a wide shot cut to a close-up. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, that's real and existing, and they're actually there, and it really adds something. I think having a second camera and cutting between them adds so much to how
the avataring and
how real it feels.
Some of the shots. Martin, it's hard to hear.
Oh, actually, we're getting a bit of overlap in audio.
VRChat has a certain style of avatars, and you can bring your scan
Martin, could you mute yourself on Zoom? Sorry to interrupt, but we can hear your conversation all over everyone else, and we're just answering a few last questions.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. And thank you for your comment, Michael. It's really very interesting, and that's why I would love to get in touch, because the last project actually that we did, and I haven't shared it unfortunately yet, but I will definitely, was the Ready Player Golf, where we had simultaneous 3 cameras. I think either it was 4. I think it was 3 cameras
in the live mode when we were streaming, and so we were switching in between them. But we have a luxury of having invisible avatars in Engage, where we have the close-up, the whole area, etc., etc. But that's why I think from the cinematic perspective, that's what we've been mostly exploring and Engage with the holographic recording, because when you have a recording and it's not live, that's absolutely special when you can place the camera already knowing what the subject is. But I think that the drone is definitely absolutely something that amazed me, and different lenses as well, like capturing the depth and having these, I think, adds really a lot of kind of brings the cinematography. So I'm very excited to see that, because previously we were considering VRChat and I saw a lot of people doing the streaming from there, but I haven't seen it something that would really impress me. And today, Joe, thank you so much, because I was really impressed with the new features, and looking forward to playing more with that, because I really like the VRChat aesthetics in a way.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I'm so pleased that, you know, I gave you some inspiration. I think, yeah, VRChat is a really upcoming platform for a lot of creativity. And it has been for a long time, but definitely for cinematography and filming and capturing events and putting on events. I think it's really
absolutely, and I will
growing.
definitely watch your films. So thank you so much for this evening.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a real pleasure. And anyone else who's leaving now, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you everyone for tonight. Thank you, especially Joe. Thank you for all your time, your patience, and generosity. And looking forward to hosting you again for the Karma thing and here in Turkey. But I mean, I think you'll be getting questions from me and others who now, you know, we're thinking to do things in VRChat and now have, you know, much more excitement to do so. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for attending this evening.
Thank you.
And it feels so much more real to have this Zoom session with you as a 3D avatar instead of a video camera.
Yeah, I mean, I can actually, well, no, I won't do actually. I know we're finishing up. I can put on my laptop camera and you'll be able to see me in VR. But yeah, I think this is a really fun and refreshing way to talk about VR in VR, you know, especially talking about cameras and film. You know, this is the best way to do it. So I'm glad we got it working. You know, I had some technical issues, but this was a really fun thing to do. Really fun. My first time doing it as well.
Well, congratulations on a great success in your first trial. All right, so everyone, definitely let's let Joe go hang out with the people in VRChat who are in there waiting for him. And have a good night, everybody, and see you at the next event.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Anyone in VRChat, I'm going to be hanging out, so come say hello.
Great.